which is that so much of what I think we have been prevented from doing is taking anger seriously. We have been discouraged from looking it head on and asking questions about how the anger of marginalized people, how the anger of women has been a shaping force. That once you start sort of looking straight at it, everything looks different. You start to see history in a way that you hadn't before. I say there are two steps for me when I look back at some of the history that I was never taught. Women's history, especially about the United States. The first step is finding the women you were never taught about. And that's a real project. The second is finding the women you were taught about and rethinking how you were taught about them. And you can do this, you can play this game, you know, with all the history we've been taught. You look back at Rosa Parks, the exhausted and peaceable civil rights. She was furious. She was an investigator for the NAACP who was motivated throughout her entire life by racial inequality and investigated the gang rapes of black women by white men in the Jim Crow South. She sat on that bus in 1955 as a deliberate act of political rebellion, as a deliberately political act. And yet, when I was in school, what I was taught about Rosa Parks was she was exhausted, she was a seamstress, she was demurely dressed, she was polite. So, all of this is to say that, Liz, let's start a back and forth. So just me yammering about reimagining history. Is that once you permit yourself to look straight at anger and to see it not as a clouding force that prevents reasonable, rational thinking, but actually as a clarifying thread to draw through history and present and imagine the impact it could have on the future, I hope that, like me, you'll begin to see the whole world a little bit differently.